Can we go to Raiju?
Yeah, and then it gives a youtube.com something. I copied that.
Yeah.
And then if you give your face ID.
Website, let me copy. Udayam.
Sure.
It does face ID, but
Hi, welcome. How are you? The bag one.
Slash.
Want me to log it? Yeah.
So.
Udayam.com slash
Oh, I can log it with mine.
And how do you run this?
Maybe your favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you went all the
And then I should question one.
This is your first semester or you think this was final semester? Final semester.
B equal to.
Nice. But I cannot send a picture.
When do you graduate?
Just give me the cake.
April. Okay. So how did you get interested in this?
Tomorrow, you got two programs.
I've been to the Washington conference. I got to know about the big quiz. It was interesting.
Now it's like okay.
Yeah.
So open training. The right person.
Check is coming to
Question mark is coming. It's coming in the last page. All the links. Last page is
I
there.
think.
Question mark 347.
Yeah, for me, it will not be the
It's just showing up the Bedford case. The last video showed.
I know.
Okay,
Put your slippers in,
so
please.
you know what?
Put your slippers
Get
in.
your. We are asking everybody to put it inside today.
Oh.
Everybody. So no, please bring it in. Both of you, please bring it in.
So this one I have to create.
So it's criminal to keep them
While
out.
you're looking at that, if I want to mirror the phone in the Mac, right, I downloaded something like Jai Ganesh help me A power mirror. Is that something that I should use? Do you know?
Within Shilaka have their face in.
No, I want your phone to just be mirrored and it can be projected, na? So I can mirror it in my laptop.
Good
same
choice.
issue with your software. Let's try this one.
No, the Wi-Fi is
Oh,
here. Proper Wi-Fi here.
Yeah, but I don't know. In my
Oh, guest का option नहीं है.
Proper Wi-Fi here.
What is that?
Oh, free account I have to sign up.
Oh, you did.
You're saying I should have an option for
You haven't
AirPlay.
really ordered from the
AirPlay. AirPlay mirror option too. Show mirroring options in the menu.
Please get your shoes
So
inside.
ASPX
Radio shoes inside, right? Okay, good.
is giving the same page.
Because I didn't mention it in my email, so I'm like, okay.
We can.
Oh, 3, 4, 7.
Everybody says that, I'm like,
Oh no, it
really, I
doesn't.
never like notice
Then why is it?
notice a
Yes,
difference.
oh, https udayam.com question mark SEP347.
Just like that.
Yeah, I did that.
I'm gonna try one more. This I'll
Okay.
It's resource van. It doesn't work, man. I have to figure it out.
खाली कुक करना
I know, I understand.
When and where?
Touch. Touch this.
Oh, it's just very good.
Just the depends
Oh,
on
in
the
the text.
video.
No, this. I've done it
Videos are
all.
playing in my
Concentrate energy.
video.
So your data is also good.
No, I think it's the video.
Hey, always.
Probiotic video just.
You know, a friend,
But other videos are playing.
it's a fat county.
You can use that. No, no, it's
I got the link. I will just tell you.
Right on. Just open. It is on.
Oh, SET. Sorry, Miss. I was doing SEP for right? Not do SET. Oh, but SEP 3, 4,
That's what I'm saying.
3,
The
7.
it is actually on. It is on. Yeah, I know. I turned on like
Oh, yeah.
from 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Finally, I got it.
I wasn't sure if we have some.
It's not playing on.
Oh, okay. So if you
Oh,
can-
all right. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. That's why I thought.
Yeah, I did that.
I
So
actually
now
increased the speed from
I
100,
have the
to
space.
300
Should I?
Mbps.
So, oh, if I click play, it is just to watch, right? But I'm already streaming.
Last
Right?
year was in the DC.
So hopefully, if anybody is connected, they can see it.
It's all right.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff. So,
Happy Valentine's Day.
We're all in chat.
Really happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. Still happy Valentine's Day.
live.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yes, sir. End stream is there, but there's no.
You know what? I have done the best. It will work. I have done the best.
Acha, what channel?
No, the outside is very.
Oh, in the webcam?
But yeah, it's on. It's on. It's working properly. Also.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
So, okay, let me just put some paper.
Because the other one is in dark.
But
So,
few more
What are the UMass ones?
okay, so now I think I did that. Now the mirroring thing is only pending.
Where did you northeast?
Oh wow, the new probiotic also.
Can you include the girl? Again? Can you include the girl?
Oh, from the iPhone?
not yet.
Shankari, can you give
We
me
didn't get any communication yet.
I can tell you.
in the iPhone settings, I go to
the office where
yeah, yeah.
Work for a software
Screen mirroring, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, A Power Soft, that is. Just I don't know how it connects.
I wish this was a marriott or something.
No.
Let me check.
No, she got it.
Thank you, Vishal.
Yeah, that is. So I connected this my laptop screen. It's just spinning. Do I need to do something in here? I don't think so.
But that's a fashion.
Okay.
That's Oh, it's already mirroring.
Oh, it is already mirroring? No.
Isn't that mirroring?
Mirror? Somebody's phone is mirroring.
No, it is just.
Oh, demo?
It's a
Yeah, it's a demo.
Studio.
You have to connect at the same Wi-Fi.
So let me sign up an account and try. Yeah. Yeah. Let me try. So you need the phone for sure.
Well, are we ready? We need some time, right?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Trying to connect your iPhone with the cable to the Mac.
That is what is the presentation.
நம்ம கார்டு ஏன் கனெக்ட் பண்ண முடியாது இதுக்கு கார்டு கனெக்ட் பண்ணி
Yeah, Nishi.
Cord.
கார்டு கனெக்ட் பண்ணாங்க
எந்த கார்டா? எந்த கார்டு?
Apple to the card to my love.
I don't have the cable.
But these people will be
No, but the Mac का connection का है ना, it is a different thing, right? iMac.
Aniket also might know.
Yeah.
Aniket.
Yeah.
some
One second,
help
let me
with
check my
software.
email. 1 second.
We
No.
need to mirror. I have no idea.
Yeah, and we'll figure out.
We'll figure out. Give us some time.
What are you trying to do?
Mirroring.
That's what they're trying
How to mirror mobile
Oh,
on
do
the
you know?
Chrome, right? Chrome is the computer, right? Oh, you see that?
But that's Apple.
Yeah, you can use today's new Samsung. Z1. I don't think you have
So what is it?
Z2.
Oh, yeah?
Box. Like the ladies.
Upgrade, activate app.
I saw it.
We'll have to just take a photo on phone. Keep on going up in front.
Don't worry.
Okay, who else knows how to connect the phone with the projector? Or mirror or something? Because there are so many IT consultants here, IT people here. There's Aniket is there.
We have to figure out.
वो login किया निशी, then it says
That is also, I mean, that's good.
please input the activation code in the mail to activate the software.
वो क्लास में उसमें बाहर था।
So he's already doing it.
And that's correct. Because the core one in the pharmacy.
We're trying to use this.
iPhone with you.
Really, why are
Online access.
हम लोग वही तैयारी करते हैं। Sorry, I'll get back to you.
Oh, the app, only the app.
Okay. The app is to be used, but it's like getting registered here, but you log in and having some issues related to license and stuff like
That is
that.
available. That is available online, but it can
So you use login to
regular app.
Sorry, some technical issues are not starting.
We downloaded it.
you will be able to log in through the browser.
So now, what do we do? It's connected now, I guess. It's connected now. So then you automatically do something like this.
Please enable USB debugging mode on your
Scan QR code.
Okay.
How do we scan the QR?
Scan QR.
Shiva, mirror your phone to what? To computer?
No, he's already mirroring it. He wants to know how to take
No,
the app,
Wi-Fi
open his
connection?
phone and then.
QR code.
No,
Scan
I
the
was just thinking
QR
if
code.
the phone mirroring doesn't work, he can type the website name in the
Scan
computer, but I
Ah.
don't know if the resource center has a website.
in QR code.
But I don't have.
I can make it little more bright.
What the heck? Why is this saying no Wi-Fi connection?
The laptop has no Wi-Fi connection?
Yes, Shiva.
Phone.
Do you know your login?
Okay, let me do it. Let me connect the laptop to the phone.
No, laptop is connected.
Laptop is connected. That much I can do.
Manually.
Mouth is.
वही तो है मैं.
Nishi has only one. Like,
I don't really do anything.
I know he's fast, but not that fast. Aniket, no idea?
Kanna, is there something that Amway website, the resources you can open?
No, you should add.
Something.
Huh?
Can you open the Amway website resources? Will that work?
No, I just show the phone and I
How
do
can
it.
you do that?
Wait,
What?
don't you have
Is it?
engineering? like
Yeah, I
that?
do.
And that's
What to
it.
do
Yeah.
in that?
How to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something.
Connect that.
Oh,
Connect to the
yeah.
earphone. It is not working.
Oh, okay. Done. My.
Oh, because you have the.
All right, yeah.
Oh, you can do that. நீங்க பண்ணுங்க.
How can you do that? Let me see. You disconnect.
Not disconnect. Stop mirroring. Okay.
Maybe I should go and ask people to share their most favorite Valentine.
Yeah, I think I'll stop.
Hey, perfect.
Yeah.
So do you think it's
Good to go.
wait?
Kanna,
Someone
it's
has to go
connected.
to wait.
It's connected. Nishi, work आ गया Nishi.
Go ahead.
Go there.
This is like.
It works. Yeah. Thank you, Nishi. Yeah.
All right, please give a round of applause.
On this cold Valentine's Day.
First of all, Valentine's Day is a good start, but I also think it's a great opportunity for us to meet together as a team, because I miss this association, and I'm so happy that Swapnil. First of all, I want to thank Swapnil and Uma.
Yay!
And I'll tell you why to thank them, and then you can applaud as well. It takes a lot of effort to clean your house, your driveway, to set up chairs, right? It's a lot of work. So, I keep saying this all the time. A lot of people have bigger basements than this, but they cannot fill the room like this with quality people. So please give Swapnil and Uma.
Came for the class, huh? You would have clapped before this.
with that, the tradition typically to start a Friday night hangout is with a joke and an introduction. So we are Rajesh and Radha. We are proud to be launched in this amazing opportunity by my sister and brother-in-law, Setan Radhika from DC. And we have an illustrious kind of sponsorship. I don't want to go on with it. We're all part of the Kumar Gala Britool right now.
All right.
So the joke, I was thinking about it, but I'll come back and say that. I don't know if it falls within the standards or not. So,
We just paused.
it fell down.
Went down.
Okay, with that, I would like to introduce the speaker. So obviously, people who are here for the first time, we'll introduce you a little after, but there's going to be a product education part and there is a system education part. The product, someone who's extremely qualified academically, in their family side, and also is a great business owner who runs tremendous volume every single month on top of their, professional lives, who's going to come and talk. We really want to cheer for them because having young kids, people know how difficult it is to take care of them or arranging for care, having goals, and then having one is difficult. Having two young children,
Two will go for two.
it's extremely difficult. And on top of it, they both work full time. And they really work. They just don't go to work. They really go to work and work. And a lot of, so this couple is like a power couple. It's very rare for somebody to come across a couple like this outside this room. So we are so fortunate to have them here in the room. So please give a warm round of applause and help me welcome Shiv Shankar.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Rajesh, for that wonderful introduction. I felt really good about it. Especially when you said I work at work. I do. So I'll start with some jokes today.
All right.
Sorry for the delay and the technical issues. What did the stamp say to the envelope on Valentine's Day?
Oh, I know.
It's together forever.
Take me around the world.
I'm stuck on you.
Oh, similar, close to.
How did the phone propose to his girlfriend? Give a ring. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow. Valentine's Day.
And the last one. So, what kind of flowers should you not give on a Valentine's Day?
Cauliflower.
Man, you guys are smart. What do you call two birds in love? Sweethearts.
Oh.
Anyway, happy Valentine's Day. So, Tia Lakshmana and Shiva Shankari, we're proud to be sponsored by Swapnil Numa, part of the Diamond Going team. Absolutely qualified as eagles and attending Seven Springs. Kumar Diamond. And so today, what I'm going to talk about is something interesting: how we use technology to share the products wherever we are. Because nowadays we are on the go, we meet people, but let's say you might not meet them again, or let's say they're traveling or something, but you want to show something, or let's say they're in a different state and you want to share about the product or share about a few things about the business. Amway has a great website, which is called as Amway Resource Center, and I'm going to talk about a few other places also where you can get some online help to show the products. And I had a few times shared some of these videos and some of these information, and I got good success with it, because let's say you meet somebody but you want them to remember about it, or let's say you want to use it as a door opener. Again, they hadn't responded that they want the product or not. You can just message again saying that, hey, I found these videos about the product we're talking about, and send it to me. Actually, I did that, and I got like 100 PV back.
nice.
So that guy, he wanted to order something, but he had forgotten about it or something. We had lost in touch for a few days. then I just said, I researched on whatever we spoke about, and I want to share these videos, they'll be useful for you, because he wanted to know a lot about Nutrilite and how it's different from other vitamin supplement brands. That was his main question. So I was able to send some information. And so then he replied back. I don't know if saw all the videos, but I know that was a door opener. Might be he saw a few and then he understood anyhow. So now I'm ready to show. Thanks to Lakshman, Jagnesh and Nishi on the phone for this effort.
Alex.
And Alex,
And Alex, sorry.
for the pairing.
For the pairing.
I thought he did pairing on Valentine's Day.
That's what I thought in my mind, but I didn't know if I should say it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. You're really PG-13. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Demo?
is good.
Can we demo this?
No.
Yeah, but can we also
Only turn
expand
it
this?
off. Oh.
You can only turn it off.
Turn it this way.
किधर है? We can.
Turn the other light on.
Yeah, Lakshman,
Turn
can
the
you
other
just
light on.
expand that thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can, but it is asking to upgrade.
It is asking what?
To upgrade.
Oh.
That's okay. I just.
So let me figure out. You can keep continuing.
The phone is mirroring you.
No, we're talking about different.
So Amway Resource Center is here. It's an app like this. So
Wow, you touched.
Alex did the magic.
This is unbelievable. It's like touch screen, man.
So you have to be an ideal too.
yeah. So it has Face ID, which is great.
Scanning our face.
There. Sure. I have to try it.
So this is Amway Resource Center. There is 3 ways you can look at this website. There is featured, then there is categories, then there is media types. I like to use. Categories means you will see like through like nutrition, home, beauty, Amway categories. So you can see nutrition, beauty, home care, and then media type. I like the media type actually. So it shows PDFs, videos. These are the different kind of media here. Conversation cards. Amway own music in case you want to use the music. Presentations, right? So the first thing I want to show is the PDFs because that's the easiest and everybody know about it, right? So so for example, let's see. We can do view all and then you can search here which you want. So for me, I know if I just scroll down. Okay, I wanted to talk about the Nutrilite traceability insiders. So it shows. So this is the PDF, right? It talks about this. This is the main distinguishing point with Nutrilite is the traceability from seed to supplement, and they're really going hard on advertising about this. So this talks about what is traceability, right? There's a lot of people who are not in the biotech industry who don't know about traceability. Biotech traceability is everything because like the regular drugs, if you use them, they know where it came from. Like if something happened, let's say some recall or something happened, they will know where to go for the source, and so somebody else could stop. They could stop from somebody else using it, right? So Amway has a similar, but most vitamins are not. Almost all vitamins are not do not have traceability. They're not manufactured to pharmaceutical standards. So Nutrilite is manufactured to pharmaceutical standards, and that's why they have the traceability. So this for example, this page talks about it, right? It talks about how they do. I know you can't see it, sorry, but it's see the whole traceability cycle. So now, let's say you want to send this to someone, right? There's 3 options here. Download, collection, share.
Shankar,
Can you
are you able to rotate the phone?
let's see how it is. Yeah.
So it's like this.
Yeah. Have it like that. Let's see.
Do you have a landscape switch now?
This app doesn't
The
work.
app doesn't. So the app has to.
Good.
So it has download, collection, and share. So download basically downloads it to the app. So if you can use it without Wi-Fi, and you do not have Wi-Fi, you can use it. Collection, actually, it just puts like a favorite. So if you put collection, then I'll show it later. But I can show. So it'll ask you, do you want to add a new collection? So you can have a neutral collection, artistic collection. So you don't have to search every time you go to this app. So if you have a collection, you can just click it and then show quickly whatever videos you want to show. And the third one is share. So when you hit share, right? Oops. I think now I can show the collection also. There is here it is my library, right? So if you go to my library, there is a lag in, okay, so this is my library. So let's say I want to share this, then I just hit share, and then I can message it, WhatsApp it. So if you message it, it will message like this, right? I'm going to just message it to myself. So if I go to my message, so it comes, and then if they click it, it gets redirected to a different website. It's coming up.
It's a little slow.
It's coming up.
Actually, I have one downloaded already. I can show you that. Well, all of them are loading, but it comes. And you can open it and see it. So going back to my app. So now I'm going back to home. So the different media types, I just want to show the different media types. So the videos, if you see, do view all, you can see all the videos. So the best part is, like, if you want to show something quickly, if you want, for example, if we type probiotic, so these are all the probiotic videos. Unfortunately, the probiotic video is not buffering, but these are all the probiotic videos. So let me do something that I saw recently. I'll show you this one. I know this one for sure buffers. Finally, it's working. So this is the new CBD.
Hey guys, my name is Steve, and I'm so excited to share with you that Amway and Excess are entering the exploding CBD market. These topical products are made with full-spectrum phytocannabinoid-rich hemp extract, and they help soothe and calm your skin after every adventure. Products with cannabidiol, or CBD, are hot right now, and the demand is expected to keep exploding over the next 5 years. Now let's take a look at these products. We have the CBD Cool Spray and the CBD Cream. Both have similar formulas. However, the CBD Cream has 300 milligrams of CBD, whereas the spray has 250 milligrams of CBD, but it also possesses an additional ingredient called Coolac 10, which heightens the cooling sensation. It's two great new ways to recover from your activities and adventures. Right now, topical CBD products like these are currently the only products legal to be sold and shipped in all 50 states, which also means that you cannot take these products across an international border. Now, the new CBD products from Excess contain less than 0.3% THC. This is the psychoactive compound in cannabis that creates the high. Topical CBD products with less than 0.3% THC like these do not enter the bloodstream, and so you can use them without fear of failing a drug test. Plus, as Amway products, you can rest assured that and know that they've undergone rigorous protocols for safety, quality that other CBD products might not. And they're backed by the Amway's 180-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee, which you won't find on many other competitive CBD products. CBD products are experiential, and you can feel them working quickly. And most people who currently use them learned about them through word of mouth. That makes them ideal for sharing and selling with people you know. And there's several tools to help you do this with confidence. We're launching conversation cards, Amway education videos, product commercial videos. We have a full social media campaign on Amway and Access Nation channels, along with a new microsite for CBD. So get your hands on these great new exciting products from the Access brand.
So one more thing he talked about was conversation cards, and that is the best part of this this resource center. So let's go to the conversation cards, right? So you'll be able to send this conversation card to anybody. It highlights what is the important. You don't need to know anything about. I mean, of course, it's good if you know, but you don't need to know anything. Let's say you're a new IBO. You don't need to know anything about it. You can just show it and share it and say, my mentor knows more, but this is what I have immediately to show you. And so I want to so I'll do the CBD spray itself, right? So one thing is let's say, let me show you. Like if you see, it gives a lot of information, but I want you to notice there is like small icons like this here. So that's literature, more information. So when you click it, then you can't see, but I'll tell what I'll read. CBD is short for cannabidiol. So you just see. So yeah,
Right, oh, it's
yeah,
too small.
yeah. So and then it talks a little bit more about what it is.
Yeah.
There's also some more information. So this is something I learned new by reading it. It acts within 5 minutes on contact, right? That's something new. And then it contains essential oils, tea tree and camphor bark oil, and it is also paired with I can't read these words, but something to soothe. Menthol, aloe vera, all those things.
Premium blend of
No, Anka Montana.
Yeah. Arnica Montana. How do you educate? You guys have good eyes.
Vision has
Vision.
contains essential oils,
So it's
soothing botanical scents.
Everybody's
I am able to read excess CBD oil.
One more thing I learned
Friday
was
night.
experience the cooling sensation for up to 2 hours. I did not know this before about this product about.
It is sprayed on excess then.
So like that you'll find in several places where you can see a little bit more information. So this is very important. Like this is about the testing for CBD, right? So it says here, safety tested by third-party independent lab. This product is testified for purity, heavy metals, pesticides, mycotoxins, and microbiological contamination. Stability tested, shelf life is about 1 year. Dermatologist and allergy tested, not tested on animals, if that's very important, not tested on animals. It follows cosmetic good manufacturing process, GMP. And they also say that many companies are not conducting safety or stability testing, leaving consumers at risk. Without testing, companies and consumers cannot be confident in the amount of CBD or THC in the products, or if it will cause irritation or allergic reactions. And the last statement is some companies are making false, misleading, or exaggerating claims about CBD, and the FDA has sent warning letters to them. So that's a lot of information that you don't need to know. You can read it. So I'll do just one more. That's the Perfect Health Pack. All of our favorite products. So you can share these cards in any language. So let's say you're meeting a Spanish person and they don't know English. So you can share this card in Spanish. They can read it. I don't know about the video though. I didn't check it, but you can. So let's industry for fintech. So they start with a video. So this video will also be going to, if you're sending a message, this video will go to. And then more information again. So I can complete the.
Sure, but once we send it to one customer, we cannot forward it to other people, right? We only have to send to the link.
I think the
Might
link
be
works.
they can,
the
if you
link
just,
works.
if
The
you
link
copy
works.
the link and send it to anyone, it will work.
Send it to her, so she knows.
But oh yeah, you can get Amway Resource Center only if you have an ID.
You already know
No,
what
it
this is.
opens in Amway.com, not the resource app. So it's
And
it's
this
a,
is
it's a
sent to the
website.
customer, right? So customer will always.
So anyway, let me show vitamin B. I think there is a video here which I wanted to show. So there's a video in the thing. So actually, this is not the video I wanted to show. There's two videos I think. Yeah, this is the spirulina video. I always looked into YouTube for this video, but it's available now in the resource center. It's a good video.
Oh.
Wow.
What did you do?
Actually,
Let's start again.
anyway, it's working. But I
Let's
can't
start
see
again.
anything in my phone.
That's
Oh,
okay.
don't
change it.
oh. Turn it.
Turn it again.
Turn the
Maximize
phone.
screen.
Yeah, maximize the screen.
Maximize the screen. Yeah.
Yes, turn it
That's
off.
how it works.
Wait, don't move.
Now don't move.
Switch off.
Yeah, I'm a biotech engineer. I'm not a software engineer.
What about the voice?
You get only one.
Now see, next time we'll make it straighter.
No, click on it. I think you might have touched the screen.
Probably
Yeah.
touch the mute button.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. Again, should I play it again? Do you want me to play it
That's
again?
fine.
But I just wanted to show they show
Yeah,
the
I think
fonts.
it makes
I'm sure you all have seen this video before.
Oh, yeah.
So much.
We'll play the
It is the
audio later.
vitamin B in spirulina farms where they harvest it. Spirulina is a superfood. Because of my training, you don't have to know it.
You need to know the video is there.
Yeah, that you need to know. That's the homework. Go and check what videos are there.
Awesome. Now just
Let's
put the
now just play
audio.
the audio.
Well, what about, I just want to show something for artistry.
Yeah, next.
So this is a conversation card.
So
for
now
the
just
field.
show the audio.
Oh,
Can it move to that side? No.
Yeah, it can.
That can
Yeah, that can- that can-
You
You can. Oh yeah.
But she has to move.
She can.
You can also touch screen.
So this is for the intensive renewing field, and it talks about some of the product benefits. Instantly reveals software. I think you can read that, right? Instantly reveals. And then it talks about some product benefit. I think.
How did they do that? 93% women agree on something.
So this is so again, I'm not able to show, but this one is a card which gives product benefits in one slide,
Yeah, I
right? In terms of Nutrilite, it also gives you the per use as well in this card, right? It's per use price also it shows.
artistry.
Artistry it doesn't show, but Nutrilite it shows the per use price also. So lot of good information.
I could read software smoothest in just 8 minutes.
So then there is also presentations. So that's another form that we have. So there's a lot of presentations about business building strategies. These are like it's not. I think you can open it up as a PowerPoint, but if you open it up in the phone, it just comes as slides
So that's a
together.
good one.
So that's the money and rewards presentation. So there's even a presentation that talks about how, actually I'll show that. it says the same pin doesn't mean the same business. So it says how you can maximize your compensation. Actually, it's pretty cool. I think it's a secret, so you should go see it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's loaded, yeah. So you can keep talking about something low.
So Shiva, can I have, the PDFs can you download to your phone,
Not to your phone, through the app,
to the app,
and then you can just show it.
reading even doing offline?
You can do like a screenshot.
Okay.
No,
So-
you can. What you can do is you can send the link to your email, and from the link, I think you'll be able to cut and paste it, download it.
Okay.
I think I did that for somebody.
I was interested in that probiotic gut PDF.
Shiva, maybe you can share the story of how you used it.
Yeah.
With the real English.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so there's my cleaning lady. So she speaks only Portuguese mostly. So, but she knows written English. Just she can speak it. So I tried to explain her a little bit about probiotics, and she got the point that will help her with her skin as well. Then I also sent her the video, and also some of these talks. They talk about the gut conversation video, and also there is I'm just gonna quickly show. So this is a chart that talks about, okay, you can see it. So different other companies and other brands of probiotic as well, because people say you get it in yogurt, as much as you get it in yogurt. So it talks about how we have 5 strains and 5 tested strains. So it talked about the differences. And also I sent her this one, the conversation card as well. I sent her. So this talks about how our probiotic arrives alive and it sticks to the gut as well. So she bought the probiotic, but I was able to. I mean, sometimes people want to see it, but probiotic you can show a demo or anything. Like, but if you show more literature and they can see, they can read. It's more like if you can show a demo, that's like the best. But the second best is like you can send some literature about it. And people nowadays like to read everything about health. And so one more thing I wanted to show was the Neutralite.traceability.com. So that's another thing there that shows how different Neutralite is. So quickly, I wanted to show if we have time. So can I show it?
We saw you walking.
It was mirroring me too. It's Neutralite.traceability.com.
It's down there.
Yeah. Yeah, you can select the. No, not global. United States.
Oh,
What's the
Well, I only know United States, but anyway, let's see what.
or
what
do you want
comes.
me to try again?
That's okay, no. So if you see, so it talks about people, places, process, and products. So it talks about who is involved. Actually, you can play that video. It talks about what they do.
Full screen here, right?
It's because we do 500,000 quality checks a year. That's roughly 1 a minute for those of you keeping track. Or because every batch we make gets at least 10 days of safety testing. Or because if I lost anything in our manufacturing facilities, even this pen, we don't have production throughout the entire batch rather than risk even the tiniest contamination. Thanks, Julio. That's not obsession. That's Neutralite safety. Safe ingredients for safe supplements. That's the more behind the Neutralite label.
There was another video before that. You go to the left, like, no? Wow.
Left?
No, go to the left. The three dots,
tab
right?
with it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so that she's also going to talk about.
I don't know why people think Nutrilite has an obsession with the effectiveness of your supplements. Is it because our scientists run tens of thousands of tests on hundreds of plants just to choose a couple dozen that might meet our standards? Or because we'll spend as many as 10 years researching optimum nutrient levels in a single plant? Or because to understand the health benefits of a single ingredient, we pour through the research equivalent of up to 30 novels. Here you go, Valentina. That's not obsession, that's Nutrilite Effective. Effective ingredients for effective supplements. That's the more behind the Nutrilite label.
No, this is a website. You can just send the link of the website. So if you go further down, so you can even visit the farms, and I think I saw in one of them you can even do a live streaming, but they're working on the live streaming of them. But these are some of the farms. You can show some videos of the farms. And you can go further down, and this is more of the lab testing. This is the 9-step C2 supplement process. They talk about every single one, and you can go further down. Further down. So they talk about some products of how these products, for example, let's take the XX. So it talks about where the C2 supplement process, how they implemented in this product, right? So choosing the botanical, so there's turmeric, and I think the second one is rosemary, and then fava, rosemary, and then this fava D, and so they talk about why they chose that in particular. Then they talk about seed selection.
I clicked
Click
there.
on that.
Yeah, we are already there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, and then they choose the farm. I think turmeric is from India, rosemary is from Morocco, and fava dianta is from Brazil. So they make sure those farms are certified organic and they follow the same practices as the Nutrilite farms. Then growing, they talk about the seasons when they are harvested, and then they talk about extracting, which part you have to. When harvesting, they also talk about which part of the plant is most important and that has the most nutrients. Then they talk about extracting, and then manufacturing, like what are the packaging and everything. And then, actually, can you go back to manufacturing? I think it was, yeah. So all the testing they do, and then that's how you get the product. So like that for 4 products they have, and they plan to bring it for more products as well. So that's a good website. If someone wants to know what's special about Nutrilite.
Nutrilite traceability.
It's nutrilitetraceability.com.
Or Google Nutrilite Trace.
So that's a good website also. And then so these are all the good resources that we have that you can use, and you can see how your products are more distinguished.
Where did you message from? When you were scrolling.
From the app, you can do message. Actually,
From the app.
Yeah, you should just hit share, and then it will go as a message. You can do WhatsApp, you can do messaging, any way you can share this. That's all I had. Any questions? Let me know later. Thanks very much for the opportunity.
I know it's customary, but we should give another round of applause. Because I always tell my children, when this generation is more used to watching YouTube videos, because they are YouTube kids or whatever, because they know how to package information very entertaining. There's not much meaning, or substance behind the video. It's just more entertaining. Right, so kids are so addicted to watching that, they forget the message of what the person is trying to convey. So even though there were technical glitches, Shiva, you actually conveyed a very good message. So thank you very much. With that, I've already spoken about Lakshman and Shiva, but Lakshman comes across as a very soft-spoken, humble, clean person. But he is extremely successful in his IT career. He works at a very large corporation, probably one of the top 5 IT firms in the entire world, and he works across globally through multiple teams, distributed teams. But when you talk to him, he doesn't come across that way. He doesn't show off his home or homes and all his connections and all that. And he's also extremely successful in the business, both him and Shiva. So when he talks, usually people start taking notes. So if you have a notepad and pen, please make sure that you grab some notes. Without any further ado, please help me welcome Lakshmi.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Yeah, good. It's kind of a great evening. A lot of figuring it out and like good stuff. Yeah. Good evening. As we are Lakshman and Shiva, very proudly sponsored by Swapnil and Uma here. Absolutely excited, and we are working this business. And our goal is to qualify 7 Eagles this year. Absolutely done deal. And the DBS, we're going to have 5 people there in our team in the DBS. That's in done deal. So before we get started, couple of good. I wanted to. I see a lot of new people here. I just want to. See if they can introduce themselves and then. So, people, if I know a lot of them in the room, but some of them I don't know. So, if you're first or second time to this meeting, if you could just stand up and introduce yourself with your name and who sponsored you and what you do.
It's just me.
A lot of time for you. And if you guys want to come here, just
People who are watching on
yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Tommy, proudly sponsored by Rega and Patternry Silvers and Upline Emeralds, Ravi and Indu in New Jersey.
Welcome.
What do you do?
I'm a bank teller at a credit union.
Hi guys, I'm Rainy. Sponsored by Tommy, Upline, Ringa, and Patternry. I'm right now I work for True Green, so I pretty much where it belongs right now. And
Great.
Hi guys, so my name is Bhaskar, sponsored by Tata and Rajesh, and I'm doing masters in mechanical engineering in UMass. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So pretty much everybody is launched in the business and pretty new. Right? So good. So couple of jokes and then we'll start talking. So this is people who are not born in this country will relate to, right? Not so long ago, I had my visa stolen. Okay? Now it's everywhere where I want to be. Okay. Okay. I don't like to complain about the customer service of any business, but I didn't appreciate being pushed over to a stockbroker when I asked to check my balance. Okay, the last one. Okay. Yeah. How many marketers does it take to screw a light bulb? None. They have already automated it. Okay, let's get going. Thank you. So today, Swapnil Uma has given us an opportunity to talk about. So this is a Friday night hangout. We kind of like the first part was more about the products and about the Amway opportunity. We saw the websites and some of the brands that Amway carries, right? So now we are going to talk about how I'm going to give some information about how can we build the business. There are 2 ways that I know for the new people, like the way how you can make money through Amway is either to expand your network by having other people in your business, right? Or you could have customers and kind of move products or create volume and make money, right? So BRIC Worldwide team, which is like the education system, recommends certain process so that it's something like a framework which is proven and it is easy to teach, and it's something that we recommend people because like it's a collective experience of a lot of people. So I'm going to talk about that framework that we recommend. It's just a framework, but it's strongly recommended, right? So I'm going to talk about that and give some pointers about each of them. And the thing that I'm also going to touch upon is, so we are going to have a series of steps through which we kind of like work with the new people, right? So I'm going to talk about what is the important pointers that I felt on each of them, and how can we benefit from, if it goes good or if it doesn't go good, how can you benefit from each meeting so that your business grows, right? It's not just doing a lot of appointments, the business also grows, right? So let's get started, Jane. Okay, happy Valentine's.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, so this is just an outline.
So we have, this is just a framework, right? It's not exactly it will work this way, preferably, but it depends upon the people we are working. Generally, if it's a people that it's somebody that you know very closely, it might not work structurally like this, but it's something like you would. So the concept is you need to understand why are we doing it so that you can do it anyways. It doesn't need to be 2 or 3 or 1. So meet and greet 1 and meet and greet 2, I think it's explanatory. Then I'll explain about each of them. So we have almost 7 steps and you get somebody launched, right? So let's go to the next slide, right? So these are some important things that I felt, right? It's not everything about an appointment, but these are highlights that I felt was something to keep in mind so that you kind of know what you're doing in each of them, right? So let's take a scenario. There could be a couple of scenarios, right? You could start this process with somebody that you know very well, or you could start this process with somebody you don't know that, right? So this thing is, if you don't know the other person, that's the first step. This meeting is to just to know the other person, right? To connect. You have already met them, like when you met them, got the contacts exchange. If it is somebody you met sometime for the first time, or if you know somebody, you know them, you're calling them, then this is something would be a brief thing about the business. So it's something connecting with somebody. If you don't know, creating that relationship or partnership where you can continue it. And then the next thing is. Next thing, this more, I think these pointers are more geared towards the new person, right? Second thing, the second important pointer for this meeting is to see if they are willing to communicate with us and learn about the business opportunity, right? That's very important. If it's a friend, right? This meeting you need to understand if they know that should be something that this meeting should drive to, so that you know whether you want to proceed with them on a business approach, or obviously everybody needs a product, or we have a lot of products in the business as we looked earlier. So everybody, people might need some products. So you might take an approach of product, which could be a customer. They could just buy some product. If it's a first meeting, they're not interested. Obviously, if you do, most of the time they're interested to go forward. If they're not interested, you kind of see if you want to talk to them about the product so that they can be at least a customer. So the highlight of this meeting is to get to know that person more and let them know that you are talking to them about a business and they're willing to learn, and see if they have a need in their life or they have an intention to do anything about it. If they don't, then talk about the products. Why it might as well be a meeting, then why not talk about the products, right? So the second one is, so generally between the meeting 1 and meeting 2, what we do is we give them a book. If it goes to a business approach, right? We loan them a book, Business of 21st Century. If it goes to a product approach, you continue with that product and approach and see if they want to book a BAM or a SAM or talk about the products to create some volume, right? So now let's assume that they are interested in looking to do something, they don't know what, but they're ambitious. They want to move ahead, right? So the second meeting would be you would go to that meeting after they have read the book. So typically, when you finish the meeting, you give them a time. You check with them, like generally, typically people take 2 to 3 days or 3 to 4 days, whatever you generally tell. The people take to read the book, like, and then you fix a time and make sure that they go through the book, and then you fix this appointment, right? We can give two. So when you come here, you just don't start connect with them a little more. So every meeting you need to get to know them a little more. It's not that you need to know everything about them, but there's every meeting, it's an opportunity to build that trust and relationship, right? So you need to know a little bit more that you didn't know about them, right? And then see if they're excited about the book. They talk about the book, or they have questions about the book, or if they keep quiet, then they haven't read the book, or they told they read the book, but they haven't got anything. They did not understand what's in the book or something. But you need to look out whether they're excited about it. If not, you need to clarify why they are not excited. It could be that they didn't understand the book, or it is something that they did not read it with full attention, right, or something like that. And then the third thing would be, now that they've read the book, they know the concept of network marketing. Now they need to come up with a case or come up with the reason why, if they want to continue to take this opportunity. Otherwise, there is no point in proceeding, because now that they read the book, they know about this network marketing concept. Now, for us to continue to work with them, they need to give us a reason, right? Now, this meeting would be to solidify to ask them about their dream, or to ask them like, why do you want to do something more? What is that something that you cannot do in whatever you are doing currently? At this point, you'll have more authority to ask because they've read the book and they come back to us, right? So now you can ask them. So or help them think in that direction, because if they don't think that way, then they won't have the interest to learn more. We need to help them solidify that thing. Why are they doing this, right? And then for lead them. So let's assume that they read the book and they caught the concept of network marketing. They still have questions, they don't know everything, but they are positive about it, right? Then take the business approach. If not, now that they have read the book, they could be an L2 or L3 customer because they know about social networking. Now we could approach them for products, or we could also tell them you can just start and have some customers and make some money. It's not like you could make few $100s. Now that they have read the book, they might be open for that. That's an opening, whether we can try them for an L2 or L3. And that could be an approach, or we can talk about the products. If it doesn't go any further and let's say they don't want to continue, right? And the next thing, I'll just go through quickly, right? Board plan. So first thing is, let's say after meet and greet 2, if they want to proceed further, the next step is to invite them to meet the team and the coach, right? So the first thing is to prepare them, right? You need to prepare them for with the timing, dress code, and also that they're going to meet the team and the coach. So that's something they need to know before coming to the event, right? It shouldn't be that they don't know what they are coming to or where, who are they going to meet. They should know that ahead of time. And then once the event is there, the event is done. The thing that is recommended is introduce the person to the speaker and the coach, right? And then talk about the coach and the team highly. The value that you put on them is what the new person will see, right? Because they don't know the team or the coach yet. You are the link. So you need to, it's basically whatever value you project is what they are going to see through you, right? And then at the end of the board plan, you would typically share some talks, or you would share the digital slides that was in the presentation in the board plan, right? So that's something that is recommended, right? And then quickly let's go through. So follow through 1, right? This is something you meet them after the board plan. You set up an appointment and you meet with them, right? Some of the indicators to look for is, at this point they should have some better communication between us. Like it's almost 3 times we met, right? They should have some trust to talk freely with us, and there should be a better communication. And also they should be excited to meet with us also, right? If they're reluctant after this thing, then there is something, the sign is not right, right? They should be still excited after they met the team and we saw it. So that's something to look out for. Are they seeking more? Are they going in the positive direction? Or they have some questions, or something there could be some red flag. So that's something you need to address some important questions at this point, because now they got introduced to Amway and Rick Worldwide, right? So it's important to kind of bring up if they have any questions. If they're excited, well and good. Still, they might have some questions, but if not, it's time to address some questions to proceed further, right? And then it's if they're going forward with about the business, it's a time to start talking to them about what kind of commitments it would take. Typically, what are we looking at the time commitment and the money commitment, right? No. So it's you need to let them know like what it would take to kind of commitment that it would take for them to be in business and stuff like that. So that's something like we go through and follow through on. Right? And then board plan 2 is very similar to board plan 1, and they need to now it's more serious that they're coming back again. So now they need to know why, because once they hit the road of starting the business, they need to be, their dream should be strong enough so that they can go through all the scenarios of talking to more people and going through. So now we need to prepare them, and they need to be very excited about why they're building the business, right? So that's something very important here. And again, continue to share with them some materials or books, whatever is recommended by a coach, and continue with them, right? And the last step, I think, is oh no, before that. So typically when people go to follow, they are pretty much almost ready, right? They are very excited, and they want to get continue, and that's a time where you talk about, answer if there is any questions. If not, that's fine. And then talk about how to get started in the business. And that's typically follow through too. Is you've just seen them, it's almost 6th time that you're meeting with them, right? So you know them much better. So you would talk to them about the how do you get started and what is the next steps once you get started and whatnot, and how do you get started and everything. And the final thing I want to share is once you launch, basically people know you just register in Amway with Brit Worldwide and download the apps, whatever it is, and then if you based on you get a call from a coach, whatever it is. Right? Typically, it just makes a big deal that they're getting launched in the business, right? Basically. So I just went through this is structure, right? This is basically what it is, right? And the last thing is like on this side, to better go through this process, these are few tips that I felt is very important. Is like to be confident at every step. It's not that we shouldn't look like having a question mark in our face, right? We should be pretty confident in what we are doing. It's okay whatever we do, but we should look confident and we should feel about it. That's right. And then the very important thing is listening. Every meeting, it's important to listen to them, right? Like I told, like you need to make a decision whether you need to go to business or product. If you don't listen, they don't tell you verbally. You have to listen, or you need to pay close attention to figure out. So that's very important because otherwise, if we have an expectation and we don't listen to them, then it's not going anywhere. We don't make use of the meeting. Right? Then clear communication. Not so we work with diverse group of people. So clear communication always makes the other person, if they understand it better, they get the information is transferred, right? It's better that way. And then learn to lead people to next steps, right? So that's something like you need to see. You lead to the next step that they want to go. It's not like what we want to go, but it's they want to go. So because we don't, so as Swapnil always say, it's not like if somebody doesn't want to be L4 who want to build a network, if they're an L1, L2 and we're still in touch, they can obviously with better experience with the product, they can come around, right? So it always like learn to lead people to the next steps that they are willing to do that at that point. Right? So that's all the slide I had, but a couple of things I want to talk before we close. Hope this helps with the steps, right? Now the thing is like, so we know this is a process, right? So now what does it take to build a business, right? So obviously there's work that it takes, both physical and mental effort that it takes, right? So typically we say like for people who want to build business in a fast track, like they put typically 10 to 15 hours a week or more than that, right? Is that true, right? So I want to give an analogy like this, right? When people ask you what effort it takes, right? It's something like this. Let's say, so I'll give an example that like for our older son, we got a car or something, right? Yeah, remote. No, it's a I don't know what to call it. It's a big car that you can drive in a highway, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what it came in a box and it came with like 80 to I would say close to 50 to 80 parts that I have to fix, right? So it came in the evening and he wouldn't go to sleep until it gets fixed, right? So he is awake until 2 a.m. We started around like 8 o'clock and until 2 a.m. he was awake, right? And he wouldn't move and he would ask me if I want something so that I don't do anything else. Right? So for him, right, it is so important that he wants that to be fixed. And I want him to have that. So I took the time to be up and I did not focus on anything because a lot of things I didn't know how to do it. I had to figure out and the instructions was not right, right? So I figured out way to get the information to do it. It's all because I know what I want. It took a lot of physical effort, but I didn't feel like it at the end of it because it was very happy that it worked out. So that is the state that I want to say. It's not about the physical work, how you won't feel the physical work if you really know why you're doing it for and you're excited to do it, then you don't feel it, right? So that is the state. Like you cannot tell people like you have to go do the business work 1 hour, 2 hour a day. It doesn't make sense if they don't want to do it or they don't know why they're doing it. Is that true? Right? So the first thing is to really solid. It takes time, but to get there is very important to know why we are doing because then the work doesn't feel like work. It's just like works like charm, right? You do the right things. Even you don't do the right things, you feel good about it because you're learning from that experience and you're moving forward because you want. It didn't work a lot of times, but I did not. I searched YouTube, Google, whatever it is in China. It was from a China product, right? So I looked at their websites. So I did whatever I could to figure it out. So that's what the point here is. Like you would seek information if you want it. So the state for new people and everybody is to, it's time to go back and make sure why are we in the business, and clearly everybody knows the potential of this business. If not now, like if you attend a major event or the BBS coming up, there are many opportunities which will show us everybody what's the potential of this bigger picture of this opportunity, right? But is it for us or not is something that we need to answer. So that's very important, and that's the last topic I wanted to cover. And thanks for the opportunity, Satyanama.
All right.
Thank you, Lakshman. That was really one of the best presentations I've seen. We should really give him an applause because having a full-time job, he manages a lot of things in spite of all that he found. And he was up until 2 a.m. fixing the car, and he's still able to build this presentation. A lot of people give excuses to do little things, but he did it not for his benefit, but for the benefit of the team. So thank you very much, Lakshman. It's very good. And I want to introduce the host of the house. I was the host of the meeting, but I really want to bring up the host of the home. And I said this at the start, so I don't want to repeat it myself. But there are a handful of people in the entire country, not just Boston area, who have meetings like these happen. And they lend their home for us, so we can come to a place like this where we can learn and educate ourselves. Valentine's Day, I know a lot of people at work, they're trying to book appointment as if this is the only day they're going to live with their spouses. I felt so tempted to say sarcastic comments and seek enrichment. And this is the kind of people who are going to come up on stage who know how to discipline themselves, how to discipline their thoughts, and match it up with actions. And that's why they are at the level that they are. And this is not the only meeting that they have. They have multiple meetings like this in their team all across the country. That is mark of a true leader because they don't have to monitor like a boss over somebody's shoulder. They know how to discipline themselves and they know how to have other people like that in their team. So please give a rowdy welcome to the host of the home, Swapnil Lumara.
Wonderful, great. So, for those of you who don't know us, we are Swapnil and Uma Raut. I came in the country like a couple of decades ago, and she just recently came. And but today is a very special day. Before I did say, today she said yes to me when I proposed. All right. Oh, wow. And there are a couple of people in the room who witnessed that. So that's good. That's how long it goes.
Yeah, but they forgot.
Not special with them, right? They are wondering what's happening.
And I'm trying to.
No, she's trying to forget. Wahoo, please forgot. So, in fact, look at it like she is wearing pink. Like Uma and pink doesn't go well. So, but today just for Valentine's, she is wearing pink. That's good, awesome. But this time at Valentine's, I did not give her a diamond ring or anything like that. I wanted to see, we'll have pace and see what other people pick. That's what my so yeah. People have like nice heart-shaped things. There's some fiery chips. I know somebody will make a cake also. Man, that's special. So we're excited. Jokes apart, for you people, you're like, what is this got to do with business? Anyway, so for you guys, Swapnil and Uma, this is how we live our life. It's surprising that we make so much money. And Remy, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's like, man, this guy is too much. But by background, both of us are in the biotech field. We actually met at pharmacy school in Rhode Island, and we were actually shown this presentation of this business by one of our seniors at URI, and that's how we got introduced. And we thought, why not? That kind of thing. And for every leader, every winner out there, when some of us are always wanting something new or something to do, business, something like that. But some of us are like, what? They are not planning. When they see something good, they say, hey, this is good. I should do this. I should pursue. And it was very easy for me to, at least, I can't talk about her right now, but for me to commit to somebody like a Kumar or a Bill Britt, when they spoke and the life they lived, the principles they had, I said like, wow, this is somebody I can follow. And that's exactly what happened. And we committed, and God bless us with a lot of good teams. Not only good teams around us, but also like Ranga and Padmashri has good prospects. Because when we came, we wanted to look up to somebody, and Ranga and Padmashri were that couple for us who kind of set it. The whole Boston team ablaze was that. Just happened to be Tamilians again, but she is a Tamilian and I am a Maharashtrian, and we always go back and forth, which is a better. So far, I have the upper hand. I don't know about physical height. But anyway, coming back to this, I want to thank Rajesh for the hosting. Thank you very much, Rajesh. He's Tamilian, He's Tamilian too. All right, then I want to thank Lakshman and Jai Ganesh for making sure that everything works. Lakshman came and said, you have to figure it out. Like, he was talking about figuring out that thing, small vehicle that is scheduled. They figure out how to project things and all like that. Jai Ganesh is half Marathi, half like, all Tamilian.
And Alex too, Tamilian.
You guys know what Tamilians are? No, right?
No.
Okay. Have you guys heard of this name, Kumar? Kumar? Okay. So in India, there's different parts and different languages, and Tamil is a language that's spoken in the south of India. And people who speak that language are supposedly very bright. At least they claim that. So Kumar is a Tamilian, she is Tamilian, Rajesh is Tamilian, Ranga, Padmashri, Tamilian. Like they are all Tamilians. Okay, so that's why Alex they said they are. She's a Tamilian. Of course, you are also. You are the Tamilian, so you have big responsibility. Like, oh my God, where did that fit? Anyway, I don't have any jokes, so this is it.
It's not a joke.
Tamilians are very smart, it's not a joke. This is very serious. Anyway, but this is too much. This is still a business meeting, just in case you're wondering. Okay, but I want to really thank you guys for making sure we could project everything like that. And whoever are watching there, like, so we have
couple of people.
Few people watching also. So my cousin Nishikant, he has actually made sure everything works. And sometimes you get somebody so used to that he's not here today because he's under the weather, getting better. He was on the phone with him, and so always thank him also. And who are the people who arrange the chairs and everything like that?
All right.
Lakshman, awesome. The entire audio-visual team, thank you very much, and thank you for making sure all the lights were turning on and off. Jai Ganesh, that also helped. And Shiv Shankar, that was phenomenal. The way, however, it was easy. Resource center. Go to the resource center and then search. And what I liked was you don't need to know anything, but except for going there and having good Wi-Fi or something, good internet. That's it. Good Wi-Fi. Even internet is good enough. Nowadays, we came back from India and I realized in US the Wi-Fi is very good. In India there are so many spots where you're wondering or just talking and boom, it's gone after some time. But anyway, so that's good. But that was very important because we have so many different products, and these products are really important to a lot of people. And sometimes our best friend, neighbor, anybody will need the product, and we don't know what product they need or they need the product. And if they need it, sometimes we are not able to say confidently because we don't know what the product can do or has, or if the questions come, we don't know how to answer. But you made it so easy for everybody. So, and the good thing is everybody always carries their phone with them, which I did not. Well, I did. Okay, good. So that's, thank you very much. Phenomenal. And you did not let the glitch hamper your spirits. That was good. And you continued. So thank you. Give a round of applause here. And I'm telling you, this is one of the superb trainings of the process in a nutshell that I have seen. And truly from my heart, I'm telling you, when I saw the last slide of the tips and how it is, it just revealed to me at least what kind of a leader you are. And we are just very grateful, and we are actually proud to have you in this meeting and team. So thank you very much for sharing. Amazing. So, and definitely, want to give it to Uma. She always has a good message or something to share with us. And go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. That was a wonderful meeting. I think today we were wondering with all the cold, but I have a rule that we cancel the meeting only if the driveway is slippery. But today I think it was a great turnout and welcome to all the new folks, and you're probably figuring out. But one of the first milestones that we're teaching most people now is to how to create $500 through the business. But because in today's economy there is multiple ways to really create. You could go deliver food, you can go, drive a car, you can Uber. So if you wanted extra cash, there's multiple ways to do it. And what we have seen is, of course, those things are like you're physically putting the time. But the idea is to be able to do something here that you can truly treat as an asset, which means one day you can walk away, right? So that is what the network building part is, which is like creating a team. But for starters, retail is a great way to go about it, and I think everything Shiva covered touched on that. But I just wanted to kind of give you some inputs. I know when you meet a lot of people in the like complete strangers in the mall, for example, and what I have seen is the easiest way to talk to somebody who you don't know from before is through artistry. If a woman is talking to a woman, I think there's absolutely a great doorway. And the second thing is, I have tried this where you approach people, absolute strangers for Eastering and things like that, where they're carrying bottles of water, but it takes a while to build that trust. Probably they're not going to let you inside their home and let you do demos. But the thing is, what I have tried things and I know what works and I know what doesn't work. But you should try things for yourself. Maybe you should work with Rajesh and you guys should work with Ranga and Padmashri. The way I got excited about the Neutralite line, and that is what most of my clientele is in. What I wanted to recommend here is, I know Vrishali had some couple of success stories that I probably wanted her to come up and share as well. Last week, I think she had a great bumper retail week. And then I can add a couple of things as well. So, Vishal, you want to come up and share?
All right.
Because what we're talking about, the $500 or whatever, I think she was able to generate that just in a week or a couple of days worth of work, and so was I. So this is not theory. So that's all I wanted to see, real people, how she met. So I wanted to kind of give a brief background of how you approached her.
I think just to start off with, I think what triggered it would be after the conference in January, Alkesh and I were just like, talking about our goals, right? And many times we talk about going legal and going double legal. And in that, long-term vision, we don't, work on taking the business forward in the next month. And so one of the things we decided was, hey, what can we do to kind of make sure that we are able to track and measure our progress, like in the next month or so. And we said a good goal for us would be just through our efforts, put together additional 500 PB. So that's the goal we set. And so then it kind of, just triggered those activities. So I think what was exciting was we were able to create volume from all types of lists: A list, B list, C list, and even reference. So for A list, of course, my sister from California, she ordered a bunch of products. I didn't have to do much. She knows we have been using Neutralite for ages now. Didn't have to sell much there. In terms of B list, I really want to commend Alkesh actually, because he didn't say that, oh, it's volume goal, and volume is not, retail is not, I would say, his comfort zone. His thing is, process appointments, and he's great at that. But he's like, no, I'm going to do that as well. So he sold, he sampled actually a couple of excess cans to his hairdresser, and she ordered repeatedly, like I think Jan and also in February, she placed an order. So that was great. In terms of C list, I had a client who had sold, like Uma was saying, artistry is a great doorway. So I sold her products in October, and that time she bought like a couple of $100 worth of artistry products. And at the end of it, she was like, when I showed her the Neutralite catalog, just thinking ahead, she's like, oh, had I known this, I'm so much into vitamins. So I'm like, okay, keep the catalog.
And then I followed up with her in November, not like a big response from her. December, January. And finally in February, I'm like, I want to drop off some samples. Are you ready? And she's like, you know what? I already have the pictures of what I need from you. So fortunately, I had given her the catalog. So immediately she was like, I want 3 double X's, one bone health pack, whatever. So which was great. And then what triggered was, I mean, it's always great to have extra samples with you. When I went to drop off the product, somehow I had a perfect health pack with me. And when I gave her the bone health pack, she's like, "What is this on the side? What is this perfect health pack?" I'm like, "Glad you asked this question because here you go." And I was able to show her that, and she immediately upgraded her order from 1 double X to 2 double X and 1 perfect health pack. So that was great. And then the next, I think if you're nice to people, if you service them well and they like you, they are willing to kind of go the extra mile and do things for you. So at the end of it, I was like, hey, my business works on word of mouth. So I'll appreciate if you can give me some referrals. And she's like, yeah, sure, surely, I'll do that. And within the next week, she again, I think ordered like 3 additional perfect health packs, another bone health pack, and all of that. Again, when I went to deliver the products, I had 1 extra double X with me. She's like, oh, instead of 1, do you have another extra one? I'll take that too. So it kind of it just works out. I think it's always great to have those extra products on hand. And somehow I started talking to her about, she was like, oh, how long have you been using the products? And I said, I don't want to scare you, but 20 years, and because that's how long we, were introduced to this. And I was talking to her about my dad's, testimony on vision health. I showed her the video, and right there, she gave an order of 4 vision health. So totally, I think up to now, $1,300 worth of sale, 350 PV, and that. And the 4th category, referrals, I want to say is that when you have people get started in your business, it's always a great idea when you have the opportunity to meet their A list and B list, not to lose that contact with them, because people might go up and down in terms of they might take it slow, but at least if you have the access, you will be able to do the products. So we have registered somebody. She's more of a level 2 idea, which we knew from the very beginning. But when she had sold products to a lady in Texas, I made sure I introduced myself to her, and I kept in touch. And through that, that lady placed an order of about 60, 70 PV. And Alkesh's C-list, again, story. He was actually a C-list contact. He was an IPO for some time, but he became a preferred client or customer. And he was buying Nutralite products like, I think, Double X and weight management, lean muscle, and Slimetry, Carb Block, everything for literally like 2 years. And then he stopped in between because he tried some other business and other weight management products, and we lost touch rather. And about I think last month or something, Alkesh reinitiated the contact, and he was ready, and he's like, I need those products again because what I've been using has not worked for me. Alkesh went and dropped him all kinds of samples. I mean, we didn't take it lightly that, oh, he already knows about the products. He went there, he gave him like twist tubes, meal replacement, shakes, what else? Food bars, excess, the new flavors of excess, and all of that. And he said, you know what? I want again all the lean muscle, carb block, glucose health, and all of the products. And we are like, okay, so everything. He's like, yeah, everything that you sampled me, I want that. So that's like another 60, 70 PV. So I think it's great. Like Uma was saying, I mean, it's great we have done like 1,000 PV personal circles. When you do that when you're like doing like a pin change or hitting a goal and qualification, but I think what we want to do is just set it as a norm. So this was a great month, but actually only 15 days, 14 days in the month, so not more to go. But we just want to set this, make it a standard, like 1,000 PV personal circle profitable. Awesome. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
You said only 14 days, but just for efforts, this this month when you extra day.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Wow.
29th also.
There was a lot of messages there, but I'll just give you a story about what happened to me. I was standing in the bank, Citizens Bank, and I had a perfect water in my hand. And one lady, she just approached me and she said, "You sell that?" I said, she said she was an IBO who had moved from California. She says, "I want right now a case of perfect water and double X." And I didn't have perfect water case at home. So she drove and she picked up double X, and she has been buying double X for over 7 years now. What if I had a Poland Spring bottle in my hand that day? How much money would I have lost? And how many IBOs today don't carry their excess, don't carry. Um, why are you ashamed of the product that you are representing? So I always think about it. I think I made thousands of dollars through that one contact because, like Vishali said, I think there was a great point you drove that you just don't want to think that the person you bring in is going to be eternally excited. You know, like Wilfred says, till the cows go home. Every person they bring in from their A and B list, you need to have their phone number, their because I'll tell you, this person, she referred me to somebody who referred me to somebody who purchased almost $520 worth of product yesterday. So I had all these numbers. I was not just thinking, okay, she will service the others or whatever. You can't be lazy in this business. So the person yesterday who she came, I just showed her my Neutralite slides and I just explained. And one thing I want to tell you is these apps and everything is great, but if you're working with 40 plus, 50 plus, that community, they still like catalogs. You don't want to because you have to know your audience and you have to go out there and make enough mistakes that you gave somebody a catalog, you should have given them a video. You've got to make these things and figure it out for yourself, that what works, what doesn't work. But I'll tell you, there is a certain age group and beyond, they still like to flip catalogs. So if you are chintzy on catalogs and you don't have catalogs, when catalogs come out, I usually order it in every language because I don't know who I will meet. So first thing is, and also you want to approach people who are centers of influence. I'll tell you where I'm excited when I meet a pastor because I know he has influence. And I was telling Vishali, I contacted a Haitian pastor in the mall. And last month, between last 2 months, he ordered 14 bottles of Vision Health. Because, you know, when a product works for them, they have an audience immediately at hand that they can go and influence. So if you're approaching somebody who is not a center of influence, you immediately lost. So I have learned that I am looking for people who are leaders in their community or leaders of some kind. And I think Vishali mentioned the fact about not diluting the communication as you go down. Look for people with A and B list. Second thing is when you get somebody who is excited, I am usually in their home if they're comfortable, and I will just say, when is your day off? Okay, I've figured this out, especially if it is like a nurse or these people work odd schedules. And there are times I've taken Thursday off, I've taken Wednesday off. So I will just go and meet them at their home for a couple of hours. And the day off, what I have realized is they usually have a circle of people that come around them because they don't have a social life. They work Saturday and Sunday. So Thursday and Friday or Wednesday, whatever odd day, I will show up. Anything in this business is outside your comfort zone and somebody's comfort zone, but it is always outside mine for sure. So I am there, and then believe it or not, Lakshman, there's at least 2 people sitting there who are women, like having coffee. I will just open the catalog and show, and I will repeat the process. I will get their name and number. I am never thinking that this person is eternally going to be available for me. Extra products on hand, extra catalogs on hand. You never want to, and you never want to procrastinate. This is something people do. If they get an order, they will be like, I will order it next month because my 100 PV for this month is done. You might as well stick a big L here because you lost that sale. If somebody has ordered a product, my goal is to get it in their hands within 48 to 72 hours. Because otherwise, they're forgotten, they've allocated money to something else, and you're just losing. And you want to earn their business. In today's day and age, when there are so many websites, why should they do business with you? Right? Sometimes they don't care about things like seed to pill. They care about relationships. They care that you delivered a product in their home. And another thing I want to tell you is people take retail appointments very lightly, which means I'll tell you, if it's a process appointment and you have an MG1, if it's 7 p.m., you are very particular to be at 7 p.m. But if it is a product delivery appointment or you're going to show products, people are very relaxed about it. If they will say to the customer, I will come around 7, but they will, I have seen this so many times, product, because see, you say that I'll go and drop off a product, but they may have multiple things planned after that, and you're holding them if you're not there on time. Recently, 2 days ago, I went to drop off something to somebody, and on the dot, I was there, on the dot. And then he said, "Oh, I wasn't expecting you to be on time." I said, "Why?" Because they have a makeup of that. People who are in retail business or sales, they are loose with their time. So every time you're in front of somebody, I'm looking to make a strong impression. I'm looking to differentiate myself. Okay, so I've never relaxed. I will be in your area around 8. No, I'll be at your home at 8, and that means at 8. So these are some of the pointers. Go for people who have big circles of influence, and that is the so like Roshali said. And when another thing is when somebody is excited about a product. Yesterday I met her, and she ordered a bunch of things. I think it will total up to $800+ eventually after everything is done. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to deliver the product to her tomorrow, but I'm going to give her extra of everything. Because one thing I know is these people talk. So you would rather have one person who can do 500 PV rather than having 10 people doing 50 PV, because it will be more time efficient for you. So get your circle, personal circle, anywhere from 500 to 1,000. And when somebody asks you, are you making money in the business? You don't have to look away, or you don't have to act like you didn't follow the question. It has to be, but for this you have to be very disciplined with some of the things, and you have to figure out what is working, what is not working. We are not, Amway has gotten the best things. And last thing I want to mention is price point. Okay, you want to be very emphatic and clear. Today I approached my Zumba teacher for CBD spray. So when I saw the price of CBD spray, I was taken aback. $60 for this little box. 65 is retail. But when I am talking to somebody, I can't carry that surprise, or I can't carry that shock. So when today she said she had a bad back, and she said, I'll try anything, Uma. So I have an extra CBD spray which I'm going to give it to her on Monday. And she asked, how much is it? I said 65 without blinking. So I'm never going to carry that, what I had my first impression. What you feel about a price is not something somebody else will feel. But you will figure that out only after you fall a couple of times. And then you perfect pack for our price, 120. You just, I don't worry. One more thing I'll recommend, if you are having somebody who is lower on the pay scale, I tell them take 10 at a time. So I sell 10 packs for $50. So perfect pack, you can, if you think it's a $150 pack for a retail customer. So I will just say start with 10, $50. And it's nicely packaged. You're not like breaching the integrity of the package. So they can just, so I have done that. It works very effectively. People now take out $50 more easily than $150. So, those are some of the things I just wanted to cover. Hope that helped. Thank you, Lakshman. Thank you, Shiva. Thank you, Jai Ganesh. And I know, thank you, Nishi. He helped out as well. And Rajesh for hosting. With that, back to
You got your money's worth. Yes. Yeah, you didn't pay money. You know what to do now. Okay, anyway, guys, we are at the end of the meeting. Just one quick announcement. I'm not going to share more about who's doing the plan next week. Also, Alkesh and Roshali are. We have a business building seminar next Saturday. Okay, make sure if you haven't gotten the flyer, check with the person who invited you. I want the flyer because KDNE, they are business builders. Like, did you see value today in this? So now you're going to have this business building seminar for entire 4 hours. Okay, it's more than that, but 4 hours will be training and teaching. So make sure it's $25 per head. It starts at 6 p.m. Goes all the way to close to 11 p.m. But 6 p.m. you don't show up at 6 p.m. You'll not get any seats. You have to come there much before. Okay, so that's make sure you're there. And come ready with notes and stuff like that. This is going to be a life-changing event for a lot of you because the speakers, they're coming from out of state and they already have 9 teams cooking. So they are not somebody who's just trying to do the business. They know they are able to influence 9 different teams, and they are like, on the verge of financial freedom for both of them. Very high achievers. So just want to kind of let you know that I'm well beyond my 10 o'clock time. So with that, we want to just close this space meeting or Friday night hangout. But some of you want to hang out afterwards. You're welcome to that. I see some snacks that you can share. But with that, thank you for Vishali for sharing, and thank you, Uma. With that, have a good night.